So we're with Hilary Roberts here in London. How are you, Hilary?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Really good. Fight to the Other Side. New song that's just coming out. Looking forward to people hearing that. So tell us the story behind that. Well, what's on the other side? Who's it about?
It is about a friend of mine who was there for me. I really wasn't believing in myself musically, and she invited me over to sing for a very famous person's event. That was on a New Year's Eve. I ended up singing for the event. She said, "You must get your music recorded. You've got to do this." And I wasn't very confident in that. And then eventually I did start singing, but then I walked through some dark times around a horrible breakup and heartbroken, and I just, you know, that where your fetal position on the floor, then the pain, and I just can't take this. And she's like, just make it to the next day. Just make it to tonight. Try to go to bed, and just make it to tomorrow. And 2 years ago, I was celebrating my 20 years sober, and right after they left from visiting and celebrating with me, she was diagnosed with a very rare form of muscular dystrophy. We were doing a radio tour here for Back to Life in December, and I went to visit her, and the disease, it causes a lot of pain in the body, etc. And she was sitting in the living room with Kevin, her amazing husband, who retired 7 years early and took a huge cut in his pension to take care of his wife, bathe his wife, cook for her, all the things he does to help her. And she sat in the living room and she said, "You know, if I died tonight, it would be just fine with me." And Kevin is like, "That would not be fine with me." Well, I immediately called my team and I said, "We have to write a song for her." So we wrote this song and surprised them with it on May 11th in Beverly Hills at the launch of my foundation. She had no idea. But it was I felt so powerless and so helpless, and I wanted to be there for my friend that had loved me through very hard times.
And it's kind of a reflection of the single you brought out in 2018, There For You.
Yes, thank you, yeah. And isn't that what life's about, though, about being there for one another and loving each other? When we do that, we get out of ourselves and we are able to, when we're busy loving others, we're not so focused on us and what's not happening, and it's really the way it should be. It's really for me, my ultimate legacy. So.
Yeah, so this seems to recur in both your songwriting and the songs that you've chosen. And of course, I'd be remiss not to mention the soul-to-soul classic you recorded, Back to Life, Back to Reality, again reflecting this whole ethos.
It really is. You know, getting sober for me, I mean, I ruined 4 major record deals because of my alcoholism and drug addiction, and that was a time of coming back to life, getting my singing voice back. That brought me back to life. Going through open heart surgery. I mean, so many things, and there's so many ways as people that we are brought back to life, back to reality, whatever has been not so good for ourselves, whether we're self-indulging in it or have gone through a sickness or an illness. Yeah.
So can we talk a little bit about what happened before 2018? Because what we do know about you is when you brought out the 3 singles so far.
Yeah.
And we know that originally you came from Denver to Dallas.
Yes.
What happened musically in terms of the evolution of your songwriting and your singing?
Well, I didn't get my singing voice back until I was 2 years sober, and it was interesting. Where I didn't used to have stage fright, I had stage fright. So, but I started kind of singing here and there, and some women took me under their wing, and I started singing jazz, and I was trying to figure out what my genre would be. But I also was dealing with a lot of past trauma stuff that was tormenting me, and it's been kind of this journey, and just kind of working through internally, working things out, and spiritually and emotionally and mentally working things out. I really started singing. I faced open heart surgery in 2011, and I really started looking at what genre I wanted to do, and I was talking with my teacher that I've had off and on for 20 years, W.T. Greer, who knew Damon Sharp, my producer, and Damon sent us some material. We loved it, flew out, met Damon, flew out with Felicia Greer, who is W.T.'s wife and also my music manager, and that's when things really started happening. And Damon heard my story. He's like, I want to be with part of this. I want to do this with you, which was such an honor to me because he's worked with everybody and you'd never know it because of his humility. And I've learned so much in the last almost 2 years working with him, and my songwriting has grown by leaps and bounds. I mean, there's a whole lot more in the story, but you know, I was told at 25 it was too late for me, and here I am, it's much later, and I am getting to enjoy this life in this career that is beyond my wildest dreams. So
I'm guessing or hoping, now that you had success with 3 successive singles, that there's a fully fledged album, a collection of songs coming out. Tell us about what you have in mind.
Well, we're going to be releasing that late August, and we'll be releasing one more single before we release the LP, and then we will be releasing singles from the LP, probably 3 or 4 more songs. So we'll keep you posted. We haven't decided on a name yet, but we will definitely keep you posted on that.
So you're changing your name from Hilary? Is that what you're saying?
No, the name of you're so funny. Yeah. The name of the LP, yeah.
And stylistically, because the choice of the Soul to Soul song, you know, it's a very dancey but uplifting type of sensibility. Is that kind of representative of the style you're going to go for with the new record?
It is, it is. There's also songs, we have a song coming out that's going to be an homage to the good guys of the world, and so that's, I'm excited about that. We have another one that's really kind of sexy, but not, it's got a great beat. Everybody is excited. They all just have different meanings to them, and I think it's a diversity of sound, but it all melds together well. So I'm really excited about what we have on the horizon for everyone.
And I remember reading your first love or the introduction to music was a sing-along to the songs from Andy, that type of thing.
Oh my gosh, yes. That's when I could discover I could sing. Now my father introduced me to blues and jazz, and my mother introduced me to opera and classical. Now the opera and classical I did not appreciate till I got older. And when I studied opera, which was so difficult, I had a profound respect of opera after I knew how difficult it was.
So is there any chance that there may be the odd aria on the new record?
No, we won't have any opera on the record. It's all going to be pretty much pop, dance, or AC. AC was what we call in the States hot adult contemporary, which is similar to what Fight to the Other Side represents. So it's kind of ballady, but mellow, but heartfelt. So.
And if I remember rightly, the latest song, Fight to the Other Side, has come out on your own label.
It is, yeah. There For You did, Back to Life did, and it's on Songbird Entertainment, yeah.
And so with the new record, are you going to be going for a major label, or are you going to do it on your own terms?
You know, we have a couple of meetings, and we're still trying to decide. At this point, it's under our label, but we're definitely not, depending on a JV offer that we would get, we're not against that either. So it would just have to be the right deal for us. Yeah.
And as people, I'm sure, are clear about, that you're from the US, it's great to have you over in London. What are your thoughts about coming to play shows, doing tours?
Oh my gosh, I love, the people here are so encouraging and they love music. I mean, the UK has a lot of soul, man. I mean, I am so looking forward to that, and we're figuring out our show right now. As soon as I get back to the US, after about 2 days of sleep, I get into rehearsals, and we're going to be putting the show together, and I'll keep you guys posted about when we're going to start our little tour here.
Okay, so that might coincide with when the album comes out, perhaps?
Perhaps. We're still working out all the logistics right now. Oh.
So this being kind of a major milestone in your career, with the album coming out.
Yes.
Any sort of other unfulfilled ambitions that you think, okay, once I get the album done, here's what I want to do next?
Well, it's interesting. I just want to keep doing music. We just came out with my foundation that helps people that have walked through childhood trauma, adults that have either had memories of the trauma their whole life, or the memories just came on them, and it's for people that have suffered from sexual, physical, or verbal abuses, and you know, it affects people, and I got help for that at 6 years sober, and it changed my life. And so I want to continue to help people with that. Eventually, I would love to meet the person I'm supposed to be with and have kids, and so I'd like to be married and have children, and that would be an amazing thing. And you know, I kind of just, whatever's supposed to happen in that, I'm just letting it go, and so.
And so has Dallas become your adopted home, or is it just a staging post for music?
Well, Dallas is where I would say, Dallas, Texas saved my life, honestly. That's where I got sober. Denver tried, but I wasn't quite ready. And but I've been going to LA to record with Damon, and Felicia comes and songwrites with us, and she's incredible. So I'm not sure. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to make LA my base or what I'm going to do. I'm just kind of, I'm going to decide more probably at the end of this year where my base is going to be. But of course, then I'm going to have to keep coming over to the UK because you guys are so amazing. So.
Listen, I mean, we're really looking forward to that. You know, we love the songs we've heard so far, but we do want to hear more.
Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy.
So, as you said, there are going to be some other tracks coming out. Can you give us kind of a flavour for what to expect? Are they similar to what you've already heard?
Well, I will tell you this. Yesterday we wrote a song with Bimbo Jones, and I will tell you, you guys are going to love it. These songs coming out, they are, the Bimbo Jones ones is a bit of a throwback to the 70s, and I think the one about the good guys, which I'm not going to, it's called Good Man, and it's a throwback, I think, to the 90s, kind of gives homage to that. I just think you guys are good. There's some real treats coming out with the songs. They all have different meanings, and it's very intentional with that.
Ooh, that's very enticing. Hilary, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. So Hilary Roberts, you've got Fight to the Other Side that's out, the latest track, so yes. People should go and check that out, and make sure that they check you on social so they can find out what's coming next and when the details of the album are there and ready for all to hear.
And I will tell you that that song is dedicated to one of your own, Annie and Kevin Blake, in God's Hill in the New Forest. So.
Thank you. It's been great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. How'd I do?